Hey, how's it going? How's everyone doing? Good morning. Hey, little miss, do you want to go back to sleep? No, you're up and at 'em now? Good morning, good morning. How's everyone? Hey, Karen. Let's make coffee. I just had a nap. Oh, very exciting. We love a nap. You're on your way to, follow-up. Very good, very good. Yes, excellent, excellent. We love to see it. We are trying to reach things that are out of our reach, so we'll stand on our tiptoes. Yes. This is my FOMO baby looking all around, even though she was just asleep a moment ago. Yes. Do you want to go back to sleep? Do you want to go back to sleep, huh? Yeah? Yeah, maybe. Maybe some sleepies? You just ate? You just had a diaper change? Yes, there is roll for slime tonight. That is exactly correct. Yes, yes, yes. Tonight at 5 o'clock, we have roll for slime. Yeah. I know that my husband bought a new half and half last night, and I have no idea where I put it. So that's fine. No idea. And I know I'm the one who put it away. I remember doing it. I got nothing. I'm looking in the fridge again in a second because I need it. But I wanted to bring these other ones over first to get this started. Where did Mommy put it, honey? Where did Mommy put it? That is what I asked you. I know, little Tozy. Little Tozy. Okay. Alright. Yeah. You wanna lay down? You were asleep. And then now you're not. What do we think happened there? What do we think happened there, huh? Oh, this one's empty. Okay. We go through a massive amount of coffee in our house. You have an idea about what happened there? FOMO happened there? Or a different idea? Tell me this idea of yours. What's the idea? What is the idea? What are you looking at? It's a gloomy day out there, huh? It's a gloomy day. You're painting? Ooh, what are you painting? Morning, Jillian. Yeah. Like we did with the slime, if someone asks if it's a baby girl, yeah, oh my gosh, that'd be hilarious. Well, I mean, they can't report me for a baby doll, right? Well, if it was a doll, they can't be mad about that. They can't be mad about that. What if you were a doll? What if you actually were a doll? Yeah. What if? What if? Maybe play a trick. What's a trick or dish? Oh, like for, I wonder if those people are, maybe they are. Maybe they are. I don't know. They need something better to do with their time, if you ask me. something better to do with the time. Don't you think? Don't you think? Don't you think they need something better to do? Better to do with their time. Better to do with their time. They need something better to do. Right? What do you think of that? So unfortunately, all the stores around us did not get their orders of creamer, so the only one they had in sugar-free was hazelnut. So now we're stuck with hazelnut for the rest of this week. Yeah. It's not my favorite, but we're gonna roll with it. Honestly, who cares if... I know, it's weird, right? Weird. Why do they do that? I don't know. It's a good question. What you looking at, baby? What you looking at? Huh? Probably wanted to know who. Yeah, they probably want to know. Just popped in for a hello before work being at 11. Oh no, sorry to hear that, Amanda. Will we see you later? Oh, of course we're going to see you later for Rover Slime because you have a Rover Slime coming your way. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Why is this so bunched up? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Work always gets in the way of everything. How do we collectively win the lottery and just play all day? I don't know. But it would be nice to do. Happy May Day to you. Yeah. Let's all go dance around the maypole. Let's go dance around the maypole, honey. What do you think? Why are you trying to pop your seat? Why are you trying to pop your seat? Please share when you learn how to do that. Yeah, no, look, Liz, I'm working on it for us as a collective. I don't know how to do it, especially considering that I don't play the lottery, but, you know. Yeah, Mommy's gonna dry your hair. Okay, I played in sync for the girls. Oh, that's amazing. It's gonna be May. Your son turns 18 tomorrow. Oh my gosh. That is quite a moment. I'm not prepared for that yet. Doesn't taste bad. The hazelnut's not my favorite, but you know. Is what it is. Okay. It is what it is. Okay. My hair is stuck in the tripod. Gross. Okay. Here we go. I have at least 18 years for that. Yes, that's right. Good morning, Avery. I needed this. Kindergarten, my grandma. Oh no, Christy, that's enough to just make you cry. Chalk Zero would probably taste nice. That's true, it probably would. Hi. You feel like you don't want to sleep. You want to go in your bouncer for a few? Yeah? You feel like you're being a wiggly worm, huh? Would you rather bounce for the beginning of book club? Boo! Boo! You want to show everybody your outfit? When Daddy put this on her last night, he said, "Do you want to wear your present onesie because you're my present?" That's what he said when he put it on her. I heard it. Yeah, Mommy was in the bathroom brushing her teeth, but she heard it. Okay. All right, ready? 1, 2, woo! There you go. Yes. Yes. Some comments in this live are filtered to protect the community experience. You know what it probably was? It was probably someone agreeing that she's a present. They filter the weirdest things, but you are a present. You're a gift to the world. Yeah, you are. You are. What are the colors in your hair? They are fake things that I bought actually off of TikTok, if you believe it or not. I think they're supposed to be for kids, but I don't care because no one is here to do my hair. So I just bought these they have like little ties, and I tied them into my hair
and now we're already doing both, I know. And I braided them into my hair so that I could have some color because I needed color in my life, you know? So I did this. I needed it. It is what it is, right? I know it's not real, but apparently neither's my baby, so that's just what I do. I wish that it wasn't held in by a rubber band so that I could have it higher up, like whatever, but you know, I want to try that Bradmondo dye. Oh, really? Will you link me to that, Amber? Yes, please, Liz. It was 100% me. They filter me every time I say, oh, squish. Oh, but that's a good squish. It's a good squish. It's a good squish, squish. Yeah. It's squish, squish, squish. You know what? You are the cutest. Do you want me to, you know what you probably need? Let me go get your Chewy now that you're awake. I'm right here. It's okay. I see you watching me. I didn't go very far. I just went over to your toy bag. I get you my red spade to love you. Yeah, well, I just want more. And I don't want this. All this brown and black up here. My husband, so I always thought my hair was brown. My husband thinks my hair is black. There you go. There's your toy. But yeah, anyway, let's read our book. Let's read our book. Are you ready? You have your toy. You can chew on it because now you can hold it. You have that skill now. You can hold it on your own now. I think it's super dark brown. Yeah, I mean, it's, he thinks it's black. What is in my hair, do you think? Ew. Baby something? Baby food? Baby, she doesn't eat food. Like baby spit up? Anyway, who knows? Slime. It didn't feel like slime. If it sells, it lasts longer than a month on my grate. Really? Huh. Yeah. Oh, you'll settle for it if it lasts longer than a month. Yes, yes. Baby stuff. For sure. Baby stuff in my hair. Because I don't have dandruff, which is great. That's something I don't suffer from. I suffer from plenty of things, so I don't need dandruff to add to that. Okay, let's read. Are you ready, my baby? We're on chapter 2. Chapter 2. Page 16. Your hair looks great, Liz. I saw it and I love it. It looks fantastic. You did your person did a great job. Okay, chapter 2. Are there capital hover planes speeding in to blow us out of the sky? As we travel over District 12, I watch anxiously for the signs of an attack, but nothing pursues us. After several minutes, when we hear an exchange between Plutarch and the pilot confirming that the airspace is clear, I do relax a little. Gale nods at the howls coming from my game bag. Now I know why you had to go back. If there's any chance of his recovery, I dump the bag onto the seat where the loathsome creature begins a low, deep-throated growl. Bless you. Oh, shut up, I tell the bag as I sink into the cushioned window seat across from it. Gale sits next to me. Hey, is it, pretty bad down there? Couldn't be much worse, I answer, and I look into his eyes and I see my own grief reflected there. Our hands find each other, holding fast to the part of 12 that snow has somehow failed to destroy. We sit in silence for the rest of the trip to 13, which only takes about 45 minutes, a mere week's journey on foot. Bonnie and Twill and the District 8 refugees who I encountered in the woods last winter weren't so far from their destination after all. They apparently didn't make it, though. When I asked about them in 13, no one seemed to know who I was talking about. Died in the woods, I guess. From the air, 13... Yeah. From the air, 13 looks about as cheerful as 12. The rubble isn't smoking the way that the capital shows it on television, but there is next to no life above ground. In the 75 years since the Dark Days, when 13 was said to have been obliterated in the war between the capital and the districts, almost all new construction has been beneath the Earth's surface. There was already a substantial underground facility here. Yeah. Developed over centuries to be either a clandestine refugee for government leaders in a time of war or a last resort for humanity if life above became unlivable. You know what's interesting? I remembered this when I started to watch Silo. Do any of you watch Silo? And I was like, oh, it's like 13, you know? Yeah. We watch Silo, right? Well, you don't watch Silo. You watch Mommy watch Silo, but, you know. You have fun anyway. Yeah, okay. Most important for the people of 13, it was the center of the capital's nuclear weapons department. During the dark days, the rebels in 13 rested? Oh, rested. Have you ever watched The 100? No, I don't know about that one. Wrested the control from the capital forces, trained their nuclear missiles on the capital, and then struck a bargain. They would play dead in exchange for being left alone. The capital had another nuclear arsenal out west, but it couldn't attack 13 without certain retaliation. It was forced to accept 13's deal. The capital demolished the visible remains of the district and cut off all access from the outside. Perhaps the capital's leaders thought that, without help, 13 would die off on its own. It almost did a few times, but it always managed to pull through due to strict sharing of resources, strenuous discipline, and constant vigilance against any further attacks from the capital. Now the citizens live almost exclusively underground. You can go outside for exercise and sunlight, but only on very specific times in your schedule. You can't miss your schedule. Every morning you're supposed to stick your right arm into this contraption in the wall. It tattoos the smooth inside of your forearm with the schedule for the day in a sickly purple ink. 7 a.m., breakfast. 7:30, kitchen duties. 8:30, education center, room 17, and so on. The ink is indelible until 2200, bathing, and that's when whatever keeps the water resistant breaks down. Whatever keeps it water resistant breaks down, and the whole schedule rinses away. The lights out at 22:30 signals that everyone not on the night shift should be in bed. At first, I was so ill in the hospital that I forgot being imprinted, but once I moved into compartment 307 with my mother and sister, I was expected to get with the program. Yeah. Except for showing up for meals, though, I pretty much ignore all the words on my arm. I just go back to our compartment or wander around 13 or fall asleep somewhere hidden. An abandoned air duct, behind the water pipes in the laundry. There's a closet in the education center that's great because no one ever seems to need school supplies. They're so frugal with things here, waste is practically a criminal activity. Truly, structured days are bliss, yes. Where Earth is too radiant and they live in space but send 100 kids. Oh, wow. That's crazy, Amber. I've never even heard of that. Fortunately, the people of 12 had never been wasteful, but once I saw Fulvia Cardew crumple up a sheet of paper with just a couple words written on it, and you would have thought that she somebody from the looks that she got. Her face turned tomato red, making the silver flowers inlaid in her plump cheeks even more noticeable. The very portrait of excess. One of my few pleasures in 13 is watching a handful of pampered capital rebels squirming as they try to fit in. I don't know how long I'll be able to get away with my complete disregard for the clockwork precision of attendance required by my hosts. Right now, they leave me alone because I'm classified as mentally disoriented. It says so right on my plastic medical bracelet, and everyone has to tolerate my ramblings. But honestly, that can't last forever. Neither can their patience with the Mockingjay issue. From the landing pad, Gail and I walk down a series of stairways to compartment 307. We could take the elevator, only it reminds me too much of the one that lifted me from the into the arena. I'm having a hard time adjusting to being underground so much, but after the surreal encounter with the Rose, for the first time, the descent makes me feel safer. I hesitate at the door marked 307 and anticipate questions from my family. What am I going to tell them about 12? I ask Gail. I doubt they're going to ask for details. They saw it burn. They'll mostly be worried about how you're handling it. Gail touches my cheek, like I am. I press my face against his hand for a moment. I'll survive. And then I take a deep breath and I open the door. My mother and sister are home for 1800, reflection, a half an hour of downtime before dinner, and I see the concern on their faces as they try to gauge my emotional state. Before anyone can ask anything, yeah, I empty my game bag and it becomes 1800, cat adoration. Prim just sits on the floor weeping and rocking that awful buttercup who interrupts his purring only for an occasional hiss at me. Hi. He gives me a particularly smug look when she ties the blue ribbon I brought around his neck. My mother hugs the wedding photo tightly against her chest and then places it along with the book of plants on our government-issued chest of drawers. I hang my father's jacket on the back of a chair, and for a moment the place almost seems like home, so I guess the trip to 12 wasn't a complete waste. Yeah, it wasn't a waste, huh? She went back to get stuff to make it feel homey in 13. That's what she did. That's what she did. You're doing a great job gripping that chewy. Yeah, you are. You're doing great. Do you think you can get it to your mouth? You turn it this way. You got to turn it this way. There you go. That's how it fits. Yeah, that's the direction. Just like that. There you go. There you go. Good job. That was good. We're heading down to the dining hall for 1830 dinner when Gail's communicuff begins to beep. It looks like an oversized watch, but it receives print messages. Being granted a communicuff is a special privilege that's reserved for those important to the cause, a status Gale achieved by his rescue of the citizens of 12. They need the two of us in command, he says. Trailing a few steps behind Gale, I try to collect myself before I'm thrown into what I'm sure is another relentless Mockingjay session. I linger in the doorway of command, the high-tech meeting/war council room, complete with computerized talking walls, electronic maps showing the troops' movements in various directions, and a giant rectangular table with control panels that I am not supposed to touch. No one notices me, though, because they're all gathered at a television screen at the far end of the room that airs the Capitol's broadcast around the clock. I'm thinking that I might be able to slip away when Plutarch, whose ample frame has been blocking the television, catches sight of me, and he waves me urgently to join them. I reluctantly move forward, trying to imagine how it could be of interest to me. It's always the same. War footage, propaganda, replaying of the bombings of District 12, an ominous message from President Snow, so it's almost entertaining to see Caesar Flickerman, the eternal host of the Hunger Games with his painted face and sparkly suit, preparing to give an interview. Until the camera pulls back, and then I see that his guest is PETA. A sound escapes me, the same combination of gasp and groan that comes from being submerged in water, deprived of oxygen to the point of pain. I push people aside until I am right in front of him, my hand resting against the screen. I search his eyes for any sign of hurt, any reflection of agony, of torture. There's nothing. PETA looks healthy to the point of robustness. His skin is glowing and flawless in that full-body polish kind of way. His manner is composed and serious. I can't reconcile this image with the battered and bleeding boy who's been haunting my dreams. Caesar settles himself more comfortably in the chair across from PETA, and he gives him a long look.
So, PETA, welcome back.
PETA smiles slightly.
I bet you thought you had done your last interview with me, Caesar. I confess, I did, says Caesar, the night before the quarter quell. Whoever thought that we would see you again? It wasn't part of my plan, that's for sure, says PETA with a frown, and Caesar leans into him a little. I think it was clear to all of us what your plan was, to sacrifice yourself in the arena so that Katniss Everdeen and your child could survive. Yep, that was it. Clear and simple.
PETA's fingers traced an upholstered pattern on the arm of the chair. But other people had plans as well. Yes, other people had plans, I think. PETA has guessed it then, how the rebels used us as pawns, how my rescue was arranged from the beginning, and finally, how our mentor, Hamish Abernathy, had betrayed us both as he pretended to have, for a cause he pretended to have no interest in. In the silence that follows, I notice the lines that have formed between PETA's eyebrows. Has he guessed, or has he been told? But the Capitol have not killed or even punished him. For right now, that exceeds my wildest hopes. I drink in his wholeness and the sound of his body and mind. It runs through me like the morphling that they give me in the hospital, dulling the pain of the last few weeks.
Why don't you tell us about that last night in the arena, Caesar suggests. Help us sort a few things out.
And PETA nods, but he takes his time speeding. That last night, to tell you about that last night, well, first, you'll have to imagine how it felt in the arena. It was like being an insect trapped under a bowl filled with steaming air, all around you, jungle, green and alive and ticking, and that giant clock ticking away your life, every hour promising some new horror. You have to imagine that the past 2 days, 16 people have died, some of them defending you, and at the rate things are going, the last 8 are going to be dead by morning, save one, the victor. And your plan is that victor won't be you. Yeah. My body breaks out in sweat at the memory of this. My hand slides down the screen, hanging limply at my side. PETA doesn't need a brush to paint the images from the games. He works just as well with words as paint. Once you're in the arena, the rest of the world becomes very distant, PETA continues. All the people and the things that you've loved or cared about almost cease to exist. The pink sky, the monsters in the jungle, the tributes who want your blood become your final reality, and the only one that ever mattered. As bad as it makes you feel, you're gonna have to do some killing because in the arena you only get one wish, and it's a very costly wish.
It costs your life.
Says Caesar. Oh no, it costs a lot more than your life. To murder innocent people, says PETA, it costs you everything. You want out? You want out? You want to come up? Sit with mommy? You want out? Yeah? You want out? You want out? 1, 2. Hi. Hi, my angel. Hi, my angel. Hi. I'm surprised you're not sleeping. It's your nap time. You should be sleeping. You should be sleeping, my sweet girl. Yeah, you think that's funny? You laughing at mommy? Yeah. Oh no, it costs a lot more than your life. To murder innocent people, says PETA, it costs everything that you are. Everything you are, repeats Caesar quietly, and a hush has fallen over the room. I can feel it spread across Panem, a nation leaning towards its screens, because no one has ever talked about what it's really like in the arena before. PETA goes on. So you hold on to your wish, and that last night, yeah, my wish was to save Katniss, but without knowing it, but without knowing about the rebels, it didn't even feel right. Everything was just too complicated. I found myself regretting that I hadn't run off with her in an earlier day as she had suggested, but there was no point of getting out at that point. Because you're too caught up in Beatty's plan to electrify the Salt Lake, says Caesar. What, sweetheart? What is it? What? What is it? Do you want to lay down? You're so sleepy. Are you overtired? You look overtired. You got mommy's hair on your face. Yucky. Yucky hair on your face. Here. Yeah. It's nap time. Oh, you have drooled all over your shirt. I bet that doesn't feel very comfy, huh? So much drool. Ah, that's not nice, huh? That doesn't feel good. No. Yeah, that can't feel good at all. I'm gonna go change her really quickly because since I gave her the Chewy toy, she drooled all over the front of her shirt and it's all wet, and I bet that feels really awful. So I'm gonna go put her in a different shirt and I'll be right back. I don't want her to feel yucky. Hey, we're back in dry. That's why she was complaining, because she wanted to be dry, huh? You wanted to be dry. That's why you were complaining. That's a good reason. Here, let me put this bib on you so that you won't drool on your shirt. There you go. That's so much better, huh? Is that better? Mommy's sorry she didn't give you a bib this morning. She's sorry. I wasn't thinking. I thought you were gonna sleep. That's why I didn't put a bib on you, because I thought you were gonna sleep. That's the truth. It's not that I wasn't wanting you to have a bib. It's just that, you know. Okay, wait, what happened? What's going on with Julia? I came to the doctor's office and the receptionist on lunch. How is it? Oh, that's weird. Huh. That's very strange that they would book you an appointment during a lunch hour. Weird. Do they have a line you can call? Yeah, maybe she'll come back before your time. They should. Yeah. Sorry about that, you guys. Thank you for being patient with our intermission. I had to make sure she didn't, you know, I have such bad sensory issues when it comes to like moist things on my skin. I know that's a terrible word, but I don't know if she feels the same way. So I just try to make sure she never has to deal with it, so that in case she's feeling that way, it never hurts her little brain. Because it hurt mommy's brain, huh? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you're so cute. Okay. It costs everything that you are, says PETA. Everything that you are, repeats Caesar quietly. A hush has fallen over the room, and I could feel it spreading across Panem, a nation leaning towards its screens because no one has ever talked about what it's really like in the arena before. Oh, we already said that. You were too caught up in Beatty's plan to electrify the Salt Lake, says Caesar. Too busy playing allies with others. I should have never let them separate us, burst out PETA. That's when I lost her. When you stayed at the lightning tree and she and Joanna Mason took the coil down to the water, Caesar clarifies. I didn't want to, PETA flushes in agitation, but I couldn't argue with Beatty without indicating that we were about to break away from the alliance. When that wire was cut, everything went insane. I can only remember bits and pieces, trying to find her, watching Brutus kill Chafe, killing Brutus myself. I know that she was calling my name, and then the lightning bolt hit the tree, and the force field around us, it blew out. Katniss blew it out, PETA, says Caesar. You've seen the footage. She didn't know what she was doing. None of us could follow Beatty's plan. You can see her trying to figure out what to do with that wire, PETA snaps back. You do want out anyway, even though you're dry? You want out anyway? Or do you just want to chew on something? You want out anyway? I think you're overtired, huh? You're overtired, my angel. I know, you need a nap. You very badly need a nap. Yeah, you need a nap. Okay. You need a nap, my sweet baby. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You need a nap. Yeah. Oh. We need a nap. Uh-huh. We need a nap. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. You want to lay down? Do you want to lay down? Yeah. Is that better? You want to lay down? Yeah. Okay. You lay down. That's okay. Katniss blew it out, PETA, says Caesar. You've seen the footage. She didn't know what she was doing. None of us could follow Beatty's plan. You can see her trying to figure out what to do with that wire, PETA snaps back. All right. It just looks suspicious, says Caesar, as if she was part of the rebels' plan all along. PETA's on his feet now, leaning into Caesar's face, hands locked on the arms of his interview chair. Really? And what part of it was her plan for Joanna to nearly kill her, for the electric shock to paralyze her, to trigger the bombing? PETA's yelling now. She didn't know, Caesar. Neither of us knew anything except that we were trying to keep each other alive. Caesar places his hand on PETA's chest, a gesture that's both self-protective and conciliatory. Okay, PETA. I believe you. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. PETA withdraws from Caesar, pulling back his hands and running them through his hair, mussing up his carefully styled blonde curls. He slumps back in his chair, distraught now. Yeah? Okay, you want to talk? You don't want us to read? You have something to say? You have something to say? Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay, that's good. You can tell the story. What do you want to say? Ah. Ah. She does want attention. She does. She just wants... Okay, Mommy will hold it right here so it looks like I'm looking at you. How about that? Okay. Okay. Peter withdraws from Caesar, pulling back his hands and running them through his hair, mussing up his carefully styled blonde curls. He slumps back in his chair, distraught. Caesar waits a moment, studying Peter. And what about your mentor, Hamish Abernathy? Peter's face hardens. I don't know what Hamish knew. Could he have been part of the conspiracy? Asks Caesar. Well, he never mentioned it, says Peter. And Caesar presses on. But what does your heart tell you? That I should never have trusted him, says Peter. That's all. I haven't seen Hamish since I attacked him on the hovercraft, leaving long claw marks down his face, but I know it's been bad for him here. District 13 strictly forbids any production or consumption of intoxicating beverages, and even the rubbing alcohol in the hospital is kept under lock and key. Finally, Hamish is being forced into sobriety with no secret stashes or home-brewed concoctions to ease his transition. They've got him in seclusion until he's dried out, and he's not deemed fit for public display at this time. But it must be excruciating. I lost all my sympathy for Hamish, however, when I realized how he deceived us. I hope he's watching the Capitol broadcast now so he can see that PETA has cast him off as well. Caesar pats PETA's shoulder, and we can stop now. Caesar pats PETA's shoulder. We can stop now if you want. Was there more to discuss? Says Peter wryly. I was going to ask your thoughts on the war, but if you're too upset, begins Caesar. Oh no, I'm not too upset to answer that. Peter takes in a deep breath, and he looks straight at the camera. I want everyone watching, whether you're on the Capitol side or the rebel side, to stop for a moment and think about what this war could mean for human beings. We almost went extinct fighting one another before, and now our numbers are even fewer. Our conditions are more tenuous. Is this really what we want to do? Kill ourselves off completely? In the hopes that what? Some decent species will inherit the smoking remains of our Earth? I don't really, I'm not sure I'm following, says Caesar. Is you need a diaper change? Do you need a diaper change? Is that what it is? Are you trying to tell me that you need a diaper change? This is a very full diaper. We are having quite the morning book club. They are very patient with Mommy, huh? Can you say thank you for being so patient with Mommy? We're gonna go change that diaper. We need to change our shirt. We should have done it at the same time. We had noticed. It's so much better to be dry.
Yeah, I know. It's just been a very disjointed chapter. I was trying to read it straight through, but
We had some distractions, and that's okay. Everyone's very patient with us, huh? Oh, what's that sound about? Wait, why are we sad? Are we hungry? Are we hungry? Are we hungry? Okay. Mommy's gonna feed you then. Mommy's gonna feed you. Yes, I am. Oh, we don't have to be sad. It's coming right now. It's so imminent. Food is so imminent. You just have to be patient with Mommy to reach it. Yeah, you just have to be patient with Mommy so she can get it. See that? It's right there. There you go. See, all you have to do is be patient. I know it's hard. But it's a good way to go. You know it's always coming. You've never been without food, huh? Yeah, you know it's coming.
yeah, now that she's dry. Yeah, she peed it all out and now she wants more, right? Okay. Yeah, you think that's funny? Yeah, you think that's funny. All right, now let's try. Some decent species will inherit the smoking remains of the earth. I don't really... I'm not sure I'm following, says Caesar. We can't fight one another, Caesar, Peeta explains. There won't be enough of us left to keep going. If everybody doesn't lay down their weapons, and I mean this in a very soon way, it's all over anyways. So you're calling for a ceasefire? Caesar asks. Yes, I'm calling for a ceasefire, says Peeta tiredly. Now, why don't we ask the guards to take me back to my quarters so that I can build another 100 House of Cards? Caesar turns to the camera. All right, well, I think that about wraps it up. So back to our regularly scheduled programming. Music then plays them out. And then there's a woman reading a list of expected shortages in the capital. Fresh fruit, solar batteries, soap. I watch her with uncharacteristic absorption because I know that everyone will be waiting for my reaction to the interview, but there's no way that I can process it all so quickly. The joy of seeing Peeta alive and unharmed, his defense of my innocence in collaboration with the rebels, and his undeniable complicity with the capital now that he's called for a ceasefire. Oh, he made it sound as if he were condemning both sides of the war, but at this point, with only minor victories for the rebels, a ceasefire could only result in the return to our previous status, or worse. Behind me, I can hear the accusations against Peeta building. The words traitor, liar, and enemy bounce off the walls, and since I can neither join the rebels in their outrage nor counter it, I decide the best thing to do is just clear out. And as I reach the door, Coin's voice rises above the others. You have not been dismissed, Soldier Everdeen. One of Coin's men lays a hand on my arm. It's not an aggressive move, really, but after the arena, I react defensively to any unfamiliar touch. I jerk my arm free and take off running down the halls. Behind me, there's a sound of scuffle, but I don't stop. My mind does a quick inventory of my odd little hiding places, and I wind up in the supply closet, curled up against a crate of chalk. You're alive, I whisper, pressing my palms against my cheeks, feeling the smile that's so wide it must look like a grimace. Peeta's alive and a traitor, but at the moment I don't really care. Now what he says or who he says it for, not what he says or who he says it for, only that he's still capable of speech. And after a while, when the door opens, someone slips in, and it's Gale sliding down beside me, his nose trickling blood. What happened? I ask. I got in Bog's way, he answers with a shrug, and he used my sleeve to wipe his nose. Hey, watch it. Oh, sorry, I used my sleeve to wipe his nose, and he says, watch it. I try to be gentler, patting and not wiping. Which one is Boggs? Coin's right-hand lackey, the one who tried to stop you. He pushed my hand away. Hey, and then, sorry, I read that as a quote. That's narration. He pushes my hand away. Quit, you're gonna bleed me to death, says Gale. The trickle has turned to a steady stream, and I give up on my first 8 attempts. You fought with Boggs? Nah, I just blocked the door when he tried to follow you. His elbow caught me in the nose, says Gale. They're probably going to punish you, I say. Yeah, they already have. He holds up his wrist, and I stare at it uncomprehendingly. Coin took back my communicuff.
I bite my lip, trying to remain serious, but it seems so ridiculous. I'm so sorry, Soldier Gale Hawthorne.
Don't be Soldier Katniss Everdeen.
He grins, and I feel like a jerk walking around with it anyway. We both start laughing.
I think it was quite a demotion, though.
This is one of the few good things about 13, getting Gale back. With the pressure of the capital's arranged marriage between Peeta and me gone, we've managed to regain our friendship. He doesn't push it any further. He doesn't try to kiss me or talk about love. Either I've been too sick, or he's willing to give me space, or he knows that it's just too cruel with Peeta at the hands of the capital. Whatever the case, I've got someone to tell my secrets to. Who are these people? I say.
Well, they're us, if we had had nukes instead of a few lumps of coal, he answers.
I like to think that 12 wouldn't have abandoned the rest of the rebels back in the dark days, I say.
We might have, if it was that, surrender or start a nuclear war, says Gale. In a way, it's remarkable that they survived at all, if you think about it.
Maybe it's because I still have the ashes of my own district on my shoes, but for the first time I give the people of 13 something that I've withheld from them. Credit. For staying alive against all odds. Their early years must have been terrible, huddled in the chambers beneath the ground, and after their city was bombed to dust, population decimated, no possible ally to return for aid. Over the past 75 years, they've learned to be self-sufficient and turned their citizens into an army, and they built a new society with no help from anyone. They would have been even more powerful if that pox epidemic hadn't flattened their birth rate and made them so desperate for a new gene pool and breeders. Maybe they're militaristic, overprogrammed, and somewhat lacking in a sense of humor. They're here, though, and they're willing to take on the capital. Still, it took them long enough to show up for us, I say.
It wasn't simple. They had to build up a rebel base in the capital and get some sort of underground organized in... What? Get some sort of underground organized in the districts. Oh, okay, I see. They needed someone to set the whole thing into motion, really. They needed you.
They needed Peeta too, but they seem to have forgotten that, I say, and Gale's expression darkened.
Peeta might have done a lot of damage tonight. Most of the rebels will dismiss what he said.
You're okay.
Most of the rebels will dismiss what he said immediately, of course, but there are districts that are shakier.
What, honey? What? You need sleepies. Yeah, you need sleepies. Yeah.
The ceasefire was clearly President Snow's idea, but it seems reasonable coming out of Peeta's mouth.
And I'm afraid of Gale's answer, but I ask anyway. So why do you think he said it then?
Well, he might have been tortured or persuaded. My guess is that he made some kind of deal to protect you. He put forth the idea of a ceasefire if Snow let him present you as the confused pregnant girl who had no idea what was going on when she was taken prisoner by the rebels. This way, if the districts lose, there's still a chance of leniency for you, if you play it right.
I must still look perplexed because Gale delivers the next line very slowly.
Katniss, he's still trying to keep you alive.
To keep me alive? And then I understand. The games are still on. We've left the arena, but since Peeta and I weren't killed, his last wish to preserve my life still stands. What's the matter? You need up? You want to be up on Mommy's shoulder? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Hey. 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 I know you're overtired. You're overtired. Yeah, we're so tired. Okay, that's all it took. Now we're asleep. Yeah. I know, it is weird that they're mad at him. Oh no, go ahead, fall asleep, it's okay. The games are still on. We've left the arena, but since Peeta and I weren't killed, his last wish to preserve my life still stands. His idea is to have me lie low, remain safe and imprisoned while the war plays out, and then neither side will really have to kill me. And Peeta? If the rebels win, it'll be disastrous for him. If the capital wins, who knows? Maybe we'll both be allowed to live, and if I play it right, to watch the games go on. Images flashed through my mind, the spear piercing Rue's body in the arena, Gale hanging senseless from the ripping post, the corpses littering the wasteland of my home. And for what? For what? As my blood turns hot, I remember other things. My first glimpse of an uprising in District 8, the victors locked hand in hand the night before the quarter quell, and how it was no accident my shooting that arrow into the force field in the arena, how badly I wanted to lodge it deep into the heart of my enemy. And I spring up, unsettling a box of 100 pencils, sending them scattering to the floor. What is it? Gail asks. There can't be a ceasefire. I lean down, fumbling as I shove the sticks of dark gray graphite back into the box. We can't go back. I know. Gail sweeps up a handful of pencils and taps them on the floor into perfect alignment. I know, she always does that now. Isn't that funny? She grabs onto whatever she can and just holds on. Whatever reason PETA has for saying those things, he's wrong. The stupid sticks won't go back into the box, and I snap several in frustration. I know, look, give it here. You're breaking them to bits. He pulls the box from my hand and refills it with swift, concise motions. He doesn't know what they did to 12, and if he could have seen what was on the ground, I start. Katniss, I'm not arguing with you. If I could hit a button and kill every living soul working for the Capitol, I would do it without hesitation. He slides the last pencil into the box and flips the lid closed. The question is, what are you gonna do? It turns out the question has been eating away at me ever since... It turns out the one question that's been eating away at me has only ever had one possible answer, but it took PETA's ploy for me to recognize it. What am I going to do? I take a deep breath and my arms rise slightly, as if recalling the black and white wings that Cinna had given me. And then they come to rest at my sides. Well, I'm going to be the Mockingjay. Well then. So we had a very disjointed book club today, and everyone was very patient with us, so we say thank you. We're gonna have Roll for Slime tonight at 5 o'clock. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's the first one of May. And what else? There should be lots of Roll for Slime videos today if I get the chance to edit them. And that's pretty much the whole kit and caboodle right now. Roll for Slime. Yeah, we always put her first. What page are we on? Great question. That's a great question, Tiffany. We are going to be on page 32 tomorrow. It is 9:25 for us. That's right. Yeah, 9:25 a.m. She should have been napping for the last hour. Eesh. Overtired. I got the pre-order. Hopefully it went through. Oh, awesome. Yeah, no, I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did. Pre-orders have been coming in, you know, just on a rolling basis. So that's good. And what else? What else, my sweet angel, huh? Yeah. Okay, she's definitely asleep. I can hear it. She likes to put a wrench in the plans. That's right. Okay, so you're 8 hours ahead of me. Yes. Roll for Slime is going to be at 5 o'clock my time. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. Oof, 1 a.m. Terrible. No, Jen, you didn't miss them. I just, yesterday was a bit of a struggle bus day. I am determined to get those up today. Determined to get those put up today for you guys. And I will not close pre-orders until I get them up, I promise, because I know people wanted to combine stuff. Oh, Isabella, you got to sleep, though. Don't forget to sleep, okay? All right. I will see you all later today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day till then. Wish a long 2-hour nap upon this child. Yeah, we're going to sleep for 2 hours. 2 hours. That's what Mommy wishes for us. Okay, see you later, guys.